Hi everyone, it's Jaden. Welcome back to my channel where I share information on health, fitness, and overall self-improvement and optimization. I'm starting a new 5-video series where I'm gonna go back into each one of my health recovery phase, and I'm going to have my recommendations on things that work well for me and also things I could have implemented that would have worked really well, now looking in retrospect. A little quick update, I am now 7 months past my full recovery. So I fully recovered 7 months ago. I've not had any setbacks since I fully recovered. My complete recovery took anywhere between 18 months to 2 years. I have lots of videos on this subject on my channel if you haven't checked it out. I would also, before you watch this video or after watching this video, you might want to check out my video on the 5 different phases that I've kind of came up with for the health crash recovery that I experienced. And I also have 5 other videos that I broke down each phase describing them. But this new series of 5 videos I'll be doing will be more detailed and more specific on what I think you should do during it. And so, but before we get into it, also, like always, I just want to mention again that I am not a medical doctor or a therapist. I'm not trying to treat or diagnose a disease that you may have. I'm just sharing my own experience and my own recommendations for your research and information purposes. Highly recommend you to, always talk to your medical professional before taking on any health advice. These things that I will be listing in this video are recommendations and what has worked for me and what I think may work well if I had done it looking back. However, there's gonna be slight difference between everybody's body chemistry and everything. So you still would want to figure out what is gonna be working for you. Let's just jump right into it. I have my notes here, so I might be referring off camera to the notes. All right, so yes, so first, so this is for phase 1, right? So phase 1 is the initial crash phase of the health recovery. This phase lasted about, I would say 4 months, between 2.5 to 4 months. It blurs, each phase kind of blends into the next. So I would say this phase is anywhere between almost 3 months to 4 months. This is your initial huge crash, very debilitating phase. The first thing I would recommend you do when you encounter this would be the obvious: go get checked out by your medical professional. You want to rule out any serious illness first, and it also gives you a peace of mind that if they say your body's fine, your blood works fine, your heart looks fine, the doctor doesn't have any kind of concern on anything major, and they tell you that it's stress induced and it might be because your hormones are out of whack, you get your peace of mind, and then you can go back and work on what I'm about to share with you. So I highly recommend going to do that first. You rule out all the possibilities so you don't waste time and also worrying and adding more stress. I personally went to somebody I felt that I had trust in, so it was easy for me to take what my doctor said to me, so that I didn't spend time thinking oh, could it be this? Did they miss this? Health anxiety could come up later in different phases, but for this phase, it was just straight go to see my doctor, check out the possibilities of something serious, rule those out. Okay, I was fine. And then I went back to work on my overall health, lifestyle, stress management, and hormone recovery. When you first initially have the crash, it's very, very intense and severe. So this phase, it's like rock bottom. So you got to, rest mostly. You don't do too much. So take it easy, rest, and stay in bed. If it's possible, take a work leave until at least the initial phases you're through the initial really intense phase. If you can take a longer leave, I mean, I was fortunate. My career, it didn't involve me having to be like physically anywhere. That was a blessing. If you don't have that luxury, just take some time off if you can. If you still don't have that luxury, then you might have to look at your options. But I highly recommend you, if possible, take time off your work and cancel all your engagements, like gatherings or anything. Just cancel everything for the initial phase. Next would be getting either your family or your friends to come and help you. I did not have this luxury. I didn't have family that was able to do that for me, and I didn't want to really bother my friends, which was something that if I look back, I should have reached out, but I didn't, and I was still able to manage to get through it. But if you have that option, that's gonna help you so much to have somebody, or like a loved one or somebody to be near, especially in this beginning phase, to help you and make you food and make you comfortable. You really need it. Eat well, eat healthy ingredient foods, cook your food. I know it's hard because you're bedbound, but eat as close to whole foods, like real foods, as possible. Eat balanced. Don't go on any type of diet. Eat frequently and eat enough. Never go hungry. Throughout the whole recovery, you shouldn't go hungry, but it's especially key in this first phase. If you go hungry, your system's just gonna crash. Okay, so eat well, eat balanced, eat frequently, don't go hungry. Dishes that are worked really well would be like hearty soups with like good broth, veggies, and you might want to put like a good carb in there, like barley or rice, beans. You don't want to put too much because you don't want to raise your blood sugar also. Make sure you get tons of vegetables, high quality proteins, and good fats. Avoid simple processed sugars. Obviously, no junk food, nothing processed. Like, don't go buy cookies, candy, chips, like nothing like that. Soda, none of that. Definitely avoid sugar because you don't want to spike your sugar levels. Because as you go along, you will, this happened to me. As the crash and the health recovery progressed, I had to struggle with blood sugar regulating issues too, and that was huge. I've done tons of symptom videos, so you can check those out as well. Fruit was fine for me. It was very different. I know that fruit has sugar in it, but the way it breaks down your body is very different. I do not get the spike in like the up and down in sugar levels, blood sugar levels when I eat fruit. It might be different for you. You have to like experiment with that. Fruit was fine for me. Although I stuck with berries, melons. I don't really have a sweet tooth in general, so I didn't really go for tons and tons of grapes or something like that. Definitely avoid like simple sugar. So next will be, don't put yourself in situations and don't do activities that might cause you to raise your emotions, good or bad, might cause you to stress, and might overstimulate you. No loud movies, no video games, even like audiobooks that are exciting, or watching sports. If you're into sports, you don't want to be like cheering for your player or your team, because that's going to raise your emotions, even though they're good emotions. But when you have this health crash, whether it's good or bad emotions, if they're raised, it's going to cause your system to overload and crash. Same thing with sex and masturbation, any kind of sexual activities. You're going to be excited, and that is going to raise your emotions, and you're going to crash. No exercise for now. Exercise plays a really important role later, but in the initial phase 1, no exercise. I really recommend doing lots of relaxing activities. I wouldn't even do yoga at this point. Like the first initial crash phase 1, you're still too fragile. Okay, at least I was. So I would recommend staying in bed, chilling out, eating well, doing relaxing things. Maybe if you have a friend that comes over, you guys could talk about just very calming and just good conversation. Like, don't get into a conversation about, obviously arguing about beliefs or politics. Oh, for sure, no. Nothing that makes you feel like you need to get excited or amped up or extra angry or stressed. Maybe just talk about some like calming things. I'm trying to think of an example. I mean, there's lots, obviously. Maybe about, how your friendship has evolved and how, things like that. Like calm, nice, calm, but not necessarily like extra happy or excitement. The one supplement I would recommend at the initial phase would be holy basil. It is the one supplement that I found that's really helpful, effective, and gentle enough to where it doesn't have negative side effects. Again, that was for me. It might have side effects for some other people, so you want to try that out and test it out. And lastly, I know it's going to be very difficult, but get quality sleep as much as possible. I know it is like an oxymoron, like you have a health crash and to get better, you're supposed to sleep better when you have a health crash. I mean, I know it's so hard. Maybe having someone, I mean, this sounds so like childlike, but if I could have had that, I would have had someone to like rub my back as I fall asleep, because that really calms me. I don't know what it is for you. Maybe reading a book that's not too intense. Try to get quality sleep as much as possible. Your body heals when you're sleeping, and good sleep, your body heals. So you want to get as much of that as possible, just like you want to get as much good nutrients into your body as possible, and do minimal so that your body uses all that precious good nutrition and restful energy into healing yourself. So those are what I would recommend you do in phase 1. I did a lot of those things and it worked well for me, and there were a few things in there that I added now looking back that I should have done. That will be the video today for phase 1. Stay tuned for phase 2, which is probably one of the most tricky and frustrating phases, and I will go into my recommendations again on what I think it worked really well for me to recover in phase 2. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and share my videos with others. That would really help me expand my audience. If you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button as well as the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I upload new content. I now have PayPal Donate, so if you're interested in that and you want to support my channel, you can click on the link in my comment section as well as the upper right hand corner of my channel homepage. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. As always, remember, it's never too late to optimize yourself, and you can always start right now. Until next time, I'm Jaden Christopher, and I'm wishing you a thriving day. Bye.